Save 8% off your order at TruTechTools.com by using the Shop Talk discount code. Hello, everybody, and I hope this isn't the shortest show that I've ever done. The show starts like just 1 second after the show starts. My wife is texting me, telling me that my daughter's almost home from her track meet, and my son was going to pick her up, but now he's not answering the phone, and I'm going to have to kill him. But to do that, I have to leave the show. So we're going to see what happens here. I'm monitoring the situation. Don't know what's going to happen. We'll see what's going to happen. Guys, as you see behind me, I've added another one of our fine tools. You might be like, is that a Milwaukee tool? No, sir. No, sir. That is a Hyper Tough impact driver. I'm not lying. Hyper Tough impact driver, guys. One of the finest tools you can buy if you only have $40-some. It actually does all right. You know, probably won't stand the long haul, but it does okay right now. I hope everybody's doing good out there tonight. So we have Dylan, we have Cannon, James, Steve. Who else do we have down there? Clint, T. Leck, our buddy Tom. I'm going to call him Tom now. I've been calling him Thomas, but I think his name is Tom. He goes by Tom, probably. So that's what we're going to go with. Hope everybody's doing good out there. I had a few things go into right away we can do. Of course, we have our call now thing, but we're not going to call just yet. We'll call in just a second if you want to. So I had a couple things here that I was thinking about, and what I was thinking is, what are like the most obscure, just most random digital gauges that no one buys? Because you know there's a bunch of them out there. First of all, you have the Chinese ones. In fact, I could go to Amazon right now, and I could probably look that up while we're doing this, digital gauges, and see what pops up. But I already have some, and I have kind of an interesting theory on how they design these things. I'm going to type this in Amazon while I'm waiting here. Digital gauges. HVAC. All right, we'll see what pops up here in a second. I see the 3 dots. My wife is texting me to probably say, yeah, your son's not going to go get her. You're going to have to stop your show. At which point I will go ballistic. I will go ballistic. All right, the text says, I got him. I had to stop and leave to get Mallory. What a too bad moment for my son. He had to go do something. Too bad. So sad. Okay. Yeah, there's some really weird ones over here already. We'll look at these in a minute. Okay, but here's my theory. I have some digital gauges. Let's look at these. You guys tell me what you think, and we'll go from there. I try to find the ones that just nobody buys. I know that because I've never seen them outside of the advertisements, and like at AHR when I went, some of these gauges were there, but these were not appealing to people, I guess. All right, here's the first one. I have these Refco bad boys. Okay, I'm not even going to worry about the model numbers because none of you guys are going to order these things anyway. No one's going to order this, all right? They are using R1234YF, so it's almost like we're saying, let's go work on some automobiles. It says 2019 on them, too. These are Refco digital gauges right here. These things, I don't know if you want to call them ugly. They're probably the best gauges you've ever seen in your life. They're probably just the greatest things ever. But, I mean, they don't look like a whole lot to me. But then I started looking at them. And I was like, these things look familiar. I've seen these before. So tell me what you think about this, guys. There's a Revco gauges and the Game Boy Advance, are they the exact same? I have some theories here. I think they're just about the exact same thing. Probably the same technology built into them, same Bluetooth connectivity, same wireless distance, same accuracy. I'm just thinking maybe I could be right about that. All right, there's another one here. I call it the JB round things because, again, there's no point in learning the model numbers because it doesn't matter. So here's the JB Industries round ones. And they are just, I don't know, like the worst shape possible. And I guess that's why no one bought them. I mean, I'm sure they're fine. I got a lot of JB stuff over the years. I think it's pretty good. I had that Eliminator vacuum pump. It sure did, draw moisture out of a system. It worked just fine. I had a bunch of JB stuff. It's been pretty good. But okay, now just look at this particular set of gauges. Doesn't it look familiar to you? Look at this. Is the JB Industries round gauges nothing but a iRobot Roomba with a display and no gauge ports? It even has a phone there. It connects with Wi-Fi, just like some of these gauges do, guys. So, I think it's absolutely a Roomba. Although, like Clint says, it looks like a spaceship. I could have put the Millennium Falcon up, and part of me now really regrets that because it looks exactly like the Millennium Falcon. Look at that. Man, I really missed a boat on that one, guys. I'm going to kick myself. I have one more of these, though. Let's see if I redeem myself. Thomas says, just checking in. Never heard of or seen those JB manifolds in my life. Yep, no one's ever seen them except for the people at JB. The people made them at JB. They took them to a trade show, and then they threw them all in the dumpster, as far as I know. But speaking of JB, I have another one, because JB seems to crank out a lot of gauges no one wants. These JB gauges, which have the temperature clamps hooked to the side, they got like that cool manifold down there. It looks like aluminum body manifold. Real nice. Got the digital gauges. I remember these. I remember seeing these, not on a person. No person used these. Don't get me confused here. No person bought that. I remember seeing them displayed somewhere. That's what I mean. So these things are cool looking, right? Maybe not. But I said to myself again, I have seen these before. Check it out. Star Wars. One of the robots. That's exactly the same thing as these JB manifolds. They took the body form of this robot and turned it into this manifold. Now, guys, I know what you're thinking to yourself. Zach, you stumbled onto something. And this is quite possibly, again, take a look at it. That's the same thing right there, guys. I mean, take the sparks out of the way. I didn't have like a actual manifold with me. I would have run the grinder above it, cut through some rebar, threw some sparks everywhere. Man, oh man. So that's only 3 of those I have. So if you really hated that, it's over now. Gerardo Gutierrez says, any tips on my first vacuum pump? I'm trying to do more side work. Willing to spend about $450. Well, speaking of JB, you can get that JB Eliminator 6 CFM. It's less than $400 at Johnstone. I know that because I was at Johnstone today reading their catalog while I was in line. I think there's a lot of good vacuum pumps for under $400. I don't think the field piece ones are, though. There might be one of the Navac ones, one of the basic ones might be under $400. But I think any one like that, like the JB or the cheaper Navac, I don't know about field piece. I don't know if they still make that VP, not the 85. It's like 55 maybe. I don't remember. I don't know if they still have a lower end one. But I'm gonna tell you what. Hey, we can find this out real quick. I know Yellow Jacket makes another one. Everybody makes like their lower end one that still does the job, but just doesn't have all the bells and whistles or doesn't have the huge capacity as far as CFM. But again, I think we can solve this problem real quick. And actually, I can hit some sponsor stuff out of the park here too by going to True Tech Tools. We'll just search for vacuum pumps, guys. Let's take a look at this. We're going to find Gerardo a vacuum pump. That's our goal for today. All right, here's the left desktop screen. True Tech Tools, you can get 5% off your order. Hey, you guys don't want a 5% off your order because using the Shop Talk discount code will get you 8%. Shop Talk. All right, let's get back over there. I'm just going to type in vacuum pump. We'll see what we have here. We're going to get Gerardo a vacuum pump, and it's going to be great. All right, let's see what we got here. We're not going to discriminate either. We're just going to look for ones that are, hey, let's start with low to high. We don't need no vacuum pump oil. We'll find the very first one that is the lowest possible one. Let's see. All right, look at this right here. CPS, it looks like all they do is crank out low-end vacuum pumps. because you got a 2 CFM, another 2 CFM. You will skip the single stage ones though, guys. Go to the 2 stage ones. And we have, this was 242 and it's 2 CFM. Let's get something better. Infocon makes a QS5. I guess that's 5 CFM. Got the Bacharach. How did Bacharach even made a vacuum pump? Look at that. Bacharach makes a QV2. 1.7 CFM. That's like a DeWalt power stack. What the crap is 1.7? All right, we got the CPS makes a 6 CFM, 257. Man, there's a lot of them that are lower. See, look, there's a Navac one right there. Dual stage 4 CFM for 279. Refco makes one there. But remember, Refco's the one who made those gauges. All right, so just in case, you know, if you're thinking about getting that Refco pump, I just want to remind you, this is the sort of stuff that Refco makes. These gauges right here, Refco makes those. All right, so just keep that in mind. All right, let's see down here. We have another Navac pump, 7 CFM. So you can get a 7 CFM pump for less than $400. That's $350. That's pretty good right there. Let's see where we break 400. How high can we go? What do we got here? A bunch of nothing there. Let's see. There's the 4 CFM. Did we already see this one? Let's keep going. So the Philpiece VP55, that's the one I was thinking about. It's a little bit over $400. You can get the Hill more or less. You get another 7 CFM. I mean, it looks like the Navac's the winner on that. Because the Navac's the root of all these vacuum pumps. Start at Navac, most of them. So you might as well get the Navac. Say, Mr. Patter 19888 says, I'm disappointed the Navac expander doesn't do 1/4 inch. Was going to buy one from TruTech with Zach's code until I saw that. So like the little, what are you talking about, the battery-powered expander? Does the hydraulic expander do 1/4 inch? I don't know, man. I'm not sure if it does or not, but hey, we're on the website to even figure that out. All right, so it looks like if you cut it off at 400, it stops at Navac. You get a 7 CFM dual stage vacuum pump there. You save 8%. If you factor in like the code, if you are going to use any code, even mine, it's 8%. So if you spend $400, it's $32. So you can end up going slightly over 400 and come back down a little bit. All right, let's see what the most expensive vacuum pump is. I bet it's the White Whale from Navac. Let's see, price high to low. Look, there's, oh, good. 911. Look at that bad boy. Navac NRD 30M industrial vacuum pump, 23 CFM, $4,500. Holy crap. Navac NRD 24M industrial vacuum pump, 18 CFM. These are like the super big boys right here. Good night. Look at that. Man, you got a bunch of kits then. You got like the ammonia vacuum pump from Navac. The TES 8 EU configuration. I don't even know what that means. Something about the European Union is affecting the TES 8. TES 8's already pretty expensive. That's an Appion pump there. Appion TES 8 vacuum pump, 900 smackers. Good grief. That is some expensive vacuum pumps, guys. I'm going to tell you what. I mean, you all know this, but you don't need to buy that unless you just really want to get yourself to the maximum ability of a vacuum pump. You don't necessarily need any of those. I mean, in residential, you definitely don't. I mean, people are using a Navac 2 CFM battery pump. So if they can use a 2 CFM battery pump, then you could use one of these cheap ones, especially when you're starting out. You can save up and get one of the nicer ones. That's what I think anyway. That's my 2 cents right there. Let's see, Mr. Patter 1988. I have the Navac battery flare tool, my new favorite tool. Nice. Hillmore has 1/4 now, is what Joe says. Gerardo says, thanks for the information. I'll probably go with the Navac. Just need something good and reliable that will last. You know, you might as well get something like the Navac. Navac seems to make good stuff. I mean, they make half these vacuum pumps anyway, so might as well just get Navac. And that's true. Navac builds a lot of other people's vacuum pumps. And if someone builds other people's stuff, it must be good. So just go with the people who did it. It's a pretty good price, too. Now, we're going to go to tubing tools right now because we're going to figure out about that swager. All right, let's look at swaging because we're going to find out the battery swager, what it does. We're going to get the verification. All right, yeah, 3/8 to 1 inch and 1/8 is right there. So the Navac NTE 11L break free, bro, power tube expander kit. This is the battery powered expander. And I'm saying this because there are podcast people listening to this and they can't see the screen. The break free power tube expander kit goes from 3/8 inch to inch and 1/8. So what does the hydraulic kit do? Let's go back and find out. Where's the hydraulic? There's the hydraulic. So that's 3/8 too. All these are 3/8. Hold on now. Let's see. Is there any of them that's not 3/8? Let's see. The Black Max, that's CPS. Let's see what they do. Black Max, let's see, 3/8. But maybe is there an accessory head that goes down to 1/4? I don't know if there is or not. Don't look like it. Interesting. Well, I guess that's all the tool shopping for right now. That's pretty interesting. I had some other stuff there. You know, when I was looking at those digital gauges and seeing all these weird, awful things that no one ever buys, I was wondering what would happen if I just searched for best digital gauges. You know, when you search for something that is typically reviewed by people, because a lot of people review digital gauges because people like YouTube and they like views, because views get you money and money makes people happy. And it's also the root of all evil. What a paradox. So if you search for these things, you'll get these lists like top 5 blank, top 10 blank. And it's all just like a funneling scheme to get you to go buy something on Amazon. That's the only purpose for that stuff. None of that stuff is legit, because there's videos on YouTube about how to review products and steer them places so you earn revenue. And the proof of that is by searching digital gauges. So I have 2 different pages here, and we're going to look at what these pages think are the best digital gauges. I think we're going to like this. The first page is bestproductreviews.com. All right, here we go. And away we go. All right, so bestproductreviews.com, 10 best refrigeration gauges in the U.S., April 2022. This is April, guys. This is the best modern gauges. Best gauges. So we have the Testo 557s is number 1. Now, the Testo 557s, they're nice. They really are. But that's an older design, and I don't even think it belongs on the list. And maybe you put it on the list because it's reliable, people like it. But then there's the 570s, which are really, really nice too. Then there's just the basic 550s, which a lot of people buy because they're everywhere. So, I mean, you can almost see why this would be on the list, but to be number 1, that doesn't make any sense at all. Number 2, I guess someone has a deal with Testo. Testo Smart Probe Kit, HVACR test and load set for air conditioning. So Testo Smart Probes, I don't even know if this is the 2nd generation. This looks like the 1st generation. Hey, let's find out. Let's see. It's hard to tell. I think that's the 1st generation, isn't it? Good night. These are just the worst. Why are these here? Well, that's the 1st generation. That ain't good, because they had about enough connectivity to go from your arm tip to the other arm tip before it would lose connection. All right, number 3 here is analog gauges. What? Number 4 is the newer Testo 550s. That makes sense. I think they should be on a list of best gauges because so many people like them. All right, here's where it gets kind of like, what? The Beely refrigerant digital manifold HVAC system gauge with temperature clips and hoses. Now, this particular gauge set looks like it's right out of China, like the other ones, but this one's really China. You know, there's the tools. There's tools that are made in China. And you know some tools are made in China, but you don't care about it. It's like, I got these Milwaukee tools that are made in China, but whatever, they're great. Then there's tools that just look like China made them and didn't even try to hide it. That's the tools I'm talking about. So this is the Beely. I'm going to call it Beely. Refrigeration digital manifold HVAC system gauge set. Let's click on this too. I'll probably get a computer virus. Man, this is sweet. I think I've seen, oh my gosh, it's the Deweys. This isn't the Bellies at all. This is the Deweys. All right, there's a backstory here, guys. For those of you who may not have watched my channel in the past, and you guys can see it who are on YouTube. Where'd it go? Yeah, you see that right there? The Deweys. That's what I call those. D-U-O-Y-I. Digital manifold. See, the Deweys are awful. My buddy Dave NorCal, you may know him as NorCal. Dave's been on the show a couple times. And, well, he got a pair of these Dewey gauges, and they were horrible. I mean, they were breaking almost immediately. He tested them. He has a video on it somewhere. So he said, hey, Zach, do you want these gauges? I said, yeah. What I'll do is I'll get them, and I'll shoot them with a gun. And he's like, all right, okay, sure. I don't know if he believed me or not, but he sent them over to me, and I just stole them off my shed, the shop in the back. I would kick them and stuff, and then I actually shot them with a shotgun, and there's a video of it. But that is the gauges. They are bad. They deserve to be shot. I mean, you hardly ever can say that, but they deserve to be shot. So that's number 5. That's your 5th best set of gauges, guys. The Deweys. That's right. See, Frylock knows the deal. He said, "Didn't you shoot it with a shotgun?" I sure did. I shot him with a shotgun. The first time I winged him, the second time I got him. Videos on YouTube, guys. If I would have known this was on the list, I didn't see that this was the same tool, or I would have loaded that video for you guys, or at least like a clip from it. So now, CM tool, which essentially looks like the exact same gauge set. That looks familiar. Hey, that's not Chinese at all. Come on now. These are the 6 best gauges, guys. They look exactly like the 5th best gauges. So much so that I'm going to keep on going. Now we got another set of yellow jackets just kind of randomly on here. Just the nicer sets lower on the list here. It's like, what is it, the Brutes or something? Maybe it's the Brutes or similar to that. And we go right on down. There's more Testo Smart Probes and the Orion Motor 4-way. I got to see what this is. The Orion Motor Tech 4-way AC gauge set. So you got your automotive fittings too here. $79, guys. $79. Man, there's a recent price increase on this. Is what the honey what they call those things, browser add-ons. Honey tells you when you're getting a deal or whatnot. That's what I have on here. So that's an awful list. An awful list of wrong gauges. And yeah, that's awful. I think the other ones are going to be about the same. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Okay, let me tell you what. You know it's right. You got the Elitech. Elitech is, they take they take products that are outdated and kind of resell them under their name. Because you can recognize these things. These are the Appion gauges. At least I think they are. That is my assumption, that these are the Appion gauges that were out for a while. I don't know if they still make them. But that looks exactly like them. To me. It may not be quite it. But it's pretty daggone close. And they're $200 for these things. Unbelievable. So that's your number 1 on this list. Again, we have some more analog yellow jacket gauges. Man, great for the sponsorship, guys. Buy those yellow jacket gauges. Hey, look, the Bellies made it onto another list. The second list they've made it on. And these are the gauges that broke like the first day NorCal had them. So those are bad. CPS Black Max. It's like a weird combination of like pretty nice analog gauges and the exact same gauges again. Another set of the Chinese Dewey gauges under a different name. What in the world? Testos. What a weird list this is. And another one. This is unreliable, guys. This is unreliable stuff right here. I don't know if you guys would buy these things, but I would say no. I would suggest not buying them. Canon says, was it your little 410 break action? Yep. Burned up in the fire, too. But yeah, I loaded the 410 down. Single shot, hammer back, Dewey's decimated. Not really. HVAC Residential Basics says it has an R12 adapter. I didn't even notice that. Huh. Interesting. An R12 adapter, because that's pretty common. R12 adapter and a time machine you can get into. All right, guys, as you can see, I'm going to put the call now on there. I'm actually going to do my little sponsor thing first. We'll do that real quick, and then we'll do some calls if you guys want to call in. Yellow Jacket. Hey, I don't even need to talk about their sponsor stuff. Their analog gauges are pretty trusty all these years. Series 41 gauges, all the different, I think they're Titan manifold. I think it's a Titan manifold still. It's not the digital ones, but they do have the digital ones as well. Very dependable stuff. You know, all their analogs are in everybody's truck. Yellowjacket.com. They're still there. You can still buy those. You just want something as like a backup. Man, they're still there. They'll do a good job for you in that capacity. Navac, break free. We just talked about breaking free with the Swager. You can break free cordless vacuum pumps as well. Hey, I did it. 4 CFM and 2 CFM. You can continue to break free until you're so free you like Andy Dufresne free. It's a good movie. Shawshank Redemption. Guys, go watch it as soon as this is over. Company Cam is the only app every contractor needs. Every contractor. Every single contractor. Company Cam has ninjas out there finding and destroying all the contractors who refuse to use it. So go to companycam.com and sign up before Ninja stabs you with a katana blade. Now, Company Cam did not authorize this particular advertisement. because that is not really what they do. They don't kill contractors. So, oh no, I think I was just fired. No, I'm just kidding. Company Cam, document your jobs, communicate with your crews, cover your company's butt, consolidate your photos, put them all in one spot, organize your jobs. Every company needs it. Go get it right now after the show's over. EWC Controls, EWCcontrols.com. They got dampers, they got thermostats, they got zone panels. I don't think they make wire, or else they'd have the whole package, guys. So just bring your thermostat wire with you, get your 250-foot roll, 500-foot roll, whatever you like to go with. Get you some 18.8, 18.10, 18.4, 18.3, whatever you want to carry with you. But don't be trying to wire up a spring damper, because spring dampers aren't as good as power up and power close. So remember that 18.3 wire, because you're going to need it. EWCcontrols.com, great zoning controls. I have them at the house. They do wonderfully. TrueTechTools.com, we already said use a Shop Talk discount code. You guys have probably all used it since the show started, so I appreciate that. And Refrigeration Technologies, RefrigeTech.com, all the coil cleaners you ever need to clean every single coil on the face of the earth. If you're buying other coil cleaner, well, I can't stop you. But buy Refrigeration Technologies because it's better. I like that advertising skill right there. That was pretty good. So, if anyone wants to call in, you may now call. It's 910-970-0043. You call away. My son is picking up my daughter, so I don't have to worry about any of that. We can talk for a little bit. I can wrap this thing up. If someone calls in, I'm able to drink a drink while the show's going, which is good because, in case you guys haven't noticed, it's nonstop talking until someone calls, and that's harder to do than you think it is. And I assume before the show starts, it's very difficult. It's like, how am I going to talk for an hour again? Like for the 500th straight show. But somehow I pull it off because I can talk about anything. Hey, look, guys. It's a North Carolina flag behind me. I think she's a looker. What about these hyper tough tools? They're okay sometimes, but not really. People leaving me hanging out high and dry now. But I will say, look down there. My call thing's in the way. But you can see my nice American cross. Had the American flag and a cross. All these products were made by the same guy. It is a guy named Turbo Sawdust, and he's just the bee's knees. All right, let's take this call right here. You're on the line.
What's up, Zach? I felt bad that no one was calling you, so I thought I'd call in.
Well, don't feel too bad because you didn't really give him enough time. You know, it wasn't time to get desperate yet.
Fair enough. But I do have a question for you.
Do you really have a question for me? Is this a real question?
Yes.
I guess any question is real.
What is the worst digital gauges that you bought that you actually used?
Let's see. Now I have to review the ones that I purchased. All right, so that would be, first one was the S-Man 2, and then I have the Testo 550.
What is the S-Man at now, 5?
I don't know what I don't even think they use numbers anymore. I think they have like 3 numbers instead of just the one. Cannon, you're going to make me go back to the other website again. Let me search for S-Man and see what pops up. Yeah, so they're on like 380, 480, and I guess that's it. I think there's one more. So let's see, Testo 550s. We're not counting Smart Probes. We're counting only digital gauges, right?
Only digital gauges, no Smart Probes. Everyone knows the Testo Smart Probes First Edition are the worst.
Well, yeah, they are. They're pretty bad. I guess it would be the S-Man 2s because they started to leak.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, see,
Did Hillmore ever make those digital gauges that they showed a while back?
Like the aeronautics looking thing, looks like airplane
like
dials.
It had 2 regular analog gauges, and then it had a digital screen in the middle for whatever reason.
They did make those because they were at East Coast. This was years ago too, and boy, they look ridiculous.
I remember they came out like when I first started, and I only ever saw it on Facebook. I never actually ever saw them in person.
Well, when you
I went, so wait, what do you look at? Do you look at the analog or do you look at the gauge? But what's the point?
Well, I liked it because I was typing it into in Google, and recall came up. Hillmore digital gauge recall. What's the deal with the recall? It's like 2015. I'm gonna bring this up while we're talking about this. Yeah, so I was at East Coast, and they brought these things out, and when you start them up, it's kind of weird. Like newer cars, they'll have this feature where they like the dial goes all the way to maximum, then goes back to 0 whenever they start up. Some of them do that, and that's what these things do.
I don't understand fancy cars.
I don't know if that's just something they do to make it look cool, or there's some kind of like it's sensing where the start and stop is. I don't know what it's doing, but that's what these gauges did. And let's see. Okay, the first thing. This is like the old. I'll bring this up too on the screen for people watching. This is like HVAC talk, and the first guy says they were junk. Buy Testo instead. And not sure what the defects were. I don't know. I think it had something to do with the sight glass rupturing.
Oh God,
All
that
right.
wouldn't be good.
I heard about a sight glass on a digital gauge set rupturing, but I don't think it was Hillmore. I want to say it was Testo, but I don't want to speculate either because I'm not positive.
I know of another one that ruptured, but
Which one?
um, but I don't want to talk bad about your sponsor.
Well, you can talk about your experiences. See, sponsorship
Well,
doesn't buy
it was
you
also the one that
absolution.
you gave me.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, Cannon. What happened to him?
The P51-860s, is that the one you gave me? I think it's
It
the
is.
860.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one, the screen broke, but I found out the app still works, so I still use them for a bit. Then
That's fine.
I like dropped it, unhooking it from where I had it in the van. I hooked it up, and then it started leaking from the sight glass.
Okay, so all right, so the screen breaking, that sounds like it was
The
just
screen
premature
also broke
failure. But you
inside
dropped
the
them.
van in winter, not even being used.
So that breaking, that's not excusable. But the sight glass you dropped on the ground. So is that like it shouldn't have broke because it wasn't that hard of a drop, or was it hard enough to say there was
It
damage?
was it was literally taking it off my shoulder
Mm-hmm.
and then setting it on the ground. Then I hooked it up, and it started leaking from it.
Setting it on the ground. The first time it was dropped. Now it's setting.
Well,
Next time it's gonna be like
it
I
was
set
a
it on the
little bit of a
down
hard
pillow.
set, but it was still
A
light
hard
enough that you could
set.
have called it setting it down.
Well, you know what? These guys throw these things off of buildings when they're testing them. So I guess a hard set should go over just fine if they're throwing it off the top of a building.
Exactly.
Nope, that's no good right there, Cannon.
Uh, and then I called Yellow Jacket, and they said that they had never seen my gauges.
They had never seen your gauges.
They did the serial number did not match.
Did not match what?
They're in their system.
There was no record of the gauges existing.
Apparently,
I've never heard that one before. Yeah, maybe it was because
yeah.
they're promotional or something.
I don't know, but technically it was promotional because I got it from you, so
Yeah, and they
it's
gave it to
promotional
me.
for me.
Yeah, it was promotional for all of us involved, but I'm surprised it still didn't have a serial number that said what it is. That's kind of weird.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and I was just like, you know what, I don't care enough.
Now, what do you use?
Smart probes, field piece.
Philippines use the Job Link probes, huh? You doing Job Link?
Yes.
You enjoying them?
So my company sells Daikin systems, and we started doing the Daikin Fit. And since it's critically charged, we have to do non-invasive. So it is great for the non-invasive on the Daikin Fits.
So you're doing your non-invasive charging. You know I invented that, right?
I do not believe you invented that, but okay.
Hold on, let me take this. I'm pretty sure one day, I did not invent that, by the way. Yes, that's of course true. But, back in like 2017, this is my full of crap moment right here. So let's enjoy. Back in 2017, I had Bergman on the podcast, and he said that he put this thing in there, and I was part of the inspiration for it. And by God, I got to find that, because it's going to make me look so smart. But,
In 2016, I had to do a test in college for doing non-invasive, but with the algorithm.
what's that with the algorithm? What are you, Twitter? What are you talking about?
With the mathematical equation to do it, and I got two of them wrong because I messed up the equation for low pressure.
Do you remember it now?
Yeah, it's called Go on Measure Quick,
Okay.
and
No,
hook up my job link probes and hit non-invasive.
No. See that, man? You got to be able to do it in your head too, man. You got to get it in your head first,
I
then use the measure quick.
I do it in I do this job because I did not want to go to school because I hated math.
One day out there in Kansas City or wherever it is that you're at, Missouri,
I'm
whatever.
not in Missouri.
Well, one day out there in the central United States, where you're located, you're going to pick up your gauges. You're going to have Measure Quick on. It's like, all right, Measure Quick, what's the answer today? And then your phone's going to break, and you're going to look at your partner going, what do we do now? And it's just going to shrug. What's going to happen
So here's the problem. If my gauges break,
then?
if my phone breaks, then my smart probes are useless.
That's what I'm saying. You got to use
So
a
then what
temperature
I would
gauge.
do is take out my iPhone, my personal phone,
Oh, you got another phone.
load up Measure Quick on that, and do it from my personal phone.
Nope. Your phone fell down a ravine. All out of phones now.
I'm all out of phones.
You got to be able to do it. You get your
Well,
get
then
your
I don't
Cooper
have any
Atkins.
gauges besides the analogs.
You got like a pipe clamp and like a K-type thermometer.
I probably have a K-type somewhere in my bag. I definitely have a duct thermometer.
Well, at least you can have the air
and
temperature.
I have electrical tape, so I guess I can make that work.
You can get your temperature going in and out of coils and stuff. I mean, you can make some rough estimations.
I mainly just have the duct thermometer for furnaces because I'm not bringing my smart probes out to check what the temperature of the furnace is.
You might as well not, because that's all.
I don't need all the
sensible heat.
fancy stuff for that.
Well, for the furnace, you don't really need to know the humidity. You're just getting the dry bulb temperature rise.
Exactly. All I need the humidity for is to make sure the humidifier is working.
Yeah.
Do you guys have humidifiers there?
No, of course not. We have the
I would
ocean.
imagine you're too humid.
Yeah, we have a huge humidifier out there called the Atlantic Ocean. And even in the wintertime, it does get dry, but it's not like you guys where it'd be like, where your like nose is bleeding all day. It's dry but not unbearable.
No, that used to happen to me literally daily in high school. My nose would bleed.
It gets pretty bad. Sometimes I wake up at night with the nosebleeds if it's dry, because we don't have anything to put humidity back in. In fact, a couple of times when it was really bad, like we had real cold snaps, I would boil water on the stove or run the shower just to put some humidity into the house.
I'm currently doing the boil water on the stove method because I'm too cheap for a humidifier, and I live in an apartment. I'm not that nice to install one.
I mean, that's okay. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, and I got a huge pot from my dad when I moved in here, so might as well. I didn't even pay for the pot.
I mean, if you have this huge pot, I mean, you're kind of forced into this. Is that what you're saying?
It's just what I got.
Hey, all right. Okay.
And what is your least favorite tool you've ever bought? How about that?
Wait,
Let's deep dive into this question.
I don't get interviewed. The other podcasters don't ask me to go on interviews.
I thought I would interview you for this.
All right,
you usually ask me the questions. I thought I'd ask you questions.
You got the last one. What is the question?
What is your least favorite tool you've ever bought?
Oh, that's really tough. A tool that I bought is like, this thing sucks. Oh man, I don't know. I know I bought some stuff. I could maybe say like, and it's not really going to fit this, but like the combustion analyzer. When I bought it, it's awesome. It's great, but I don't use it nearly as much as I thought I was going to use it.
Why would you even buy a combustion analyzer? You guys barely have gas.
Well, you know what, Cannon? Because just like every other person in this world, I see cool stuff on YouTube and I want it. That's why.
Fair enough.
That's
I got
really
a
the
new
reason.
UEI one.
Well, see, that only puts you out like what, $500 or $600?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this thing was like over $1,000. A Testo
You bought
320.
the Testo, or was it the Bacharach?
No, it's a Testo 320.
Okay. So
It's
not
nice.
a bad one.
No, it's really nice. I mean, it's just like, what am I doing with this thing? I could have bought like, I had the filled piece thing before. That's like a pretend combustion analyzer because it doesn't do CO.
Carbon monoxide detector.
Well, it doesn't detect carbon monoxide as far as I could tell. It's carbon dioxide. It doesn't have a carbon monoxide readout. So it's not even useful. No, it's just, they're like, I don't even know if they make it anymore. I think it's like SOX4 or something. Filled piece SOX4. I don't know if that's right.
I think it does both, and you probably just didn't find the right setting.
No, this thing is useless crap. It's like $300. And there's no combustion analyzer out there. Even the CO sensors for your shirt cost that much. So that thing isn't worth a crap.
True.
It's bad. I don't know. I guess I should try to find it because I don't know if they make it anymore here. All right, combustion analyzer.
The worst tool I ever bought was Hillmore vacuum pump.
See, that's weird because a lot of people. Well, I don't know. I don't see as many anymore as when they first started. It was like really hot. It's like, oh, this is cool looking. Then that
No
disappeared.
matter, it was the cheapest one at CD Jones at the time, so that's why I bought it. And I needed it to install a coil at my dad's house because the coil started leaking under warranty, your coil, and bought it to install it, and then it pulled at my dad's house down to 500, and that was the last time I ever did it.
So, well, that's not good.
And I went, I know this can do 500. Why is it not doing it everywhere else?
Well, I guess it's just a really bad vacuum pump.
That's what I'm assuming. The best part about it is the carrying strap. That strap's nice, man.
That's not what
When
you
you
want
got
to
to
say.
walk from your van to a backyard, man, that's a nice strap.
Look at my $400 strap, everybody.
Yeah, pretty
Ooh,
much.
must be like one of those. What's expensive? My wife has a really expensive purse. I can't remember.
A Vito bag.
It's a Vito bag, which is a man purse. That's all a Vito bag is a purse for men.
I need a new Vito bag now, actually.
Yeah.
My zipper just broke.
Hey man, I got the MB2, but I need the MB3. Is there an MB4 yet? How about the TP6B? Is there a TP7B?
MCT is the best one.
I don't even know which one that is now. Oh yeah, I do. Wait a second. MCT is
You
a
had
nice
the
bag.
MCT.
It's
You're
nice.
the reason why I bought the MCT.
It's coming back to me now, Cannon. It's like all the Vito bags run together with all the C's, T's, and M's and stuff. But yes, that was a good bag. I like that one. I like the open one.
It is fantastic. It is not designed to be sat on every day. And when you're working on a furnace, it ends up being like the perfect height just to sit on the bag.
Why don't you take a bucket?
Like then I got to carry a bucket in.
I carry buckets to put trash and crap in, like a 5-gallon bucket. It comes in pretty handy.
Well, but like I'll do that if I'm doing a coil or something, but I'm doing a furnace maintenance.
No, I didn't know what you were doing.
It's just a furnace maintenance, or working on a furnace is just perfect height.
All right.
So yeah, that's the main thing. I think Vito needs to make a bag you can sit on, though. I think that'd be a good idea.
I don't disagree with that actually, but if you had the bucket, are you a hunter, Cannon?
Yeah.
Okay, so you ever hunt like waterfowl, doves, anything like that, ducks, something like that?
Yes.
Okay, so they have the 5-gallon buckets and they have the tops you can sit on that they make for sitting and hunting like doves and stuff. You ever seen those?
Yeah, I've seen those.
You can have that for your furnace, man. It even swivels, as I recall.
I don't believe the tops of those swivel. I think that's a different stool.
Maybe it is a different stool, but if they did swivel, that'd be awesome. But I mean, you should get that.
They
and then
have
when
the
you get your trash-
tripod stool that would swivel. I had that for turkey hunting.
No. There's a bucket one that swivels. It might have been made before you were born or something. I don't know because I dove hunted. I'm fairly certain I dove hunted before you were born. When were you born?
97?
Yep, I dove hunted before you were born. So that's probably when it was. It's convenient because you can't argue with me.
I haven't been hunting in about, let's see, I haven't been hunting since 2019.
Good.
No, actually, I haven't been hunting since 2018, actually.
Wait,
I'll tell you something.
2017.
No, it was 2018, I'll tell you. My dad, for my 21st birthday, bought me a new shotgun, right?
Mm-hmm.
My birthday's in March, turkey season's in April. I go load up the truck to go out to the farm to go turkey hunting. And then my dad tells me, you can't go out there because my dad and his cousin owned half of it. His cousin lives in California. He said, Danny wants to sell it, and we're not allowed to go out there right now. I said, you bought me a new damn shotgun and I can't even go out there? So yeah, I haven't even used that. I've only shot skeet with that shotgun.
Disgusting.
I know, terrible, right?
I shot skeet with my 410.
Your 410. How? By the way, how does a shotgun get destroyed in a fire? Because
Well,
as
if it
far as I'm
wouldn't.
concerned, all you need to do is buy a new stock.
Well, yeah, I mean, the
And
metal's all
reblue it.
trashed out. I mean, you're going to have to do some really serious metal renovation. I don't know. Maybe it's possible. I don't know.
You
But
probably just need to re-blue it and then put a new stock on it.
I don't know. It's sitting back there in my shop. That and I have a 22 that my grandfather had, and same thing with it. So I'm just keeping them anyway because at the very least I'll clean them up a little bit and I'll put them on the wall behind me, which is a great idea actually. I should do
That would
that.
actually be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think I will do that. Oh man, I would lower these signs down a little bit if I knew that I could put the guns over the top of them. All right, look for it coming soon. Guns in here. That'd be great.
I've got 322s from my grandpa and a few shotguns. So,
What are you trying to say? Your grandpa's better than mine?
no, because these were just from like all my relatives actually, but then they just kind of went to my grandpa.
No, that's okay. All right.
And my grandma still claims that I took her guns that my grandpa gave me when I was 8 because I stored them at her house in college.
All right.
Because, of course, you can't have a gun at a dorm. They kind of frown upon that.
They do now. Cannon, we don't have time for your family problems, okay?
I know. But,
Segway.
question for you.
Segway. Now, you used your question. This better be real fast. What is it?
What questions did you have for me?
I didn't have a question. Oh, no, here you go. Here I'm going to ask you a question. You answer it wrong, I'm just hitting hang up. This is just a transition anyway, so don't take any offense to it. All right, here's the question. Do you watch the show Yellowstone?
No.
All right, bye. All right, I hung up on Cannon. Yellowstone's a great show. I'm sorry, Cannon, but if you don't watch Yellowstone, you're really missing out on one of the finer things in life. All right? Plus, I had to transition. Cannon understands. We have this sort of relationship. It's almost like a fake combative relationship, but it's great. All right, we're going to look over here on the desktop one more time because this is that field piece thing. It is the SOX 3. I don't have cable. Hey, get Paramount Plus or something. Watch 1883. These shows are awesome. All right, so the key features for the field piece, as it says down here at the bottom, automatic electric pump with pause, field replaceable oxygen sensor, measures flue temp and percent of oxygen, calculates percentage CO2, percentage excess air, and combustion efficiency. Hands-free testing with magnet, R-cone, and automatic pump. Programmable for custom fuel types. Yep, no CO right there. And that makes it useless. Don't ever purchase that thing. And you know what? Philpiece is a great company. A lot of the people, even the people that I work with, they're great companies. But sometimes they make a stinker. And you should not purchase it. And that is a stinker. The SOX3. There's no purpose for owning that. I thought, hey, at least I'll have something. And then I got it and I realized I got nothing. It's nothing, man. Nothing. All these different combustion analyzers. I'm looking over the screen here. You got the UEI and stuff. It's the UEI. You spend $467 and you get something that actually does all the measurements, I think. I don't speak too soon. I'm pretty sure it does. Canon's like, why do you need something that don't measure CO? You do not need that. You do not need that. You do not want that. Don't even be near it, man. Six Shooter says, make R22 great again. Hey, R22 has never stopped being great. And now it costs just like its greatness. Elevated. High up there. Performance HVACR. The core extractor sucks. I agree. Hold on, I'm agreeing with somebody else, so I got to go back up. All right, Weaver. Our buddy Weaver. About 5 years ago, I bought the Yellow Jacket core extractor and core rethreader tool. I have not needed to use them yet. Actually, haven't needed them before that either. Just saw the ad. Yeah, I had one of them things. I think we gave it away, though. You know what? The Yellow Jacket valve core removal tool. I don't think it's. I think it goes Appion is the top. I like Appion. The ones that I use here recently, like the Navac ones, seem pretty good. And then they have the one that has 5/16 and a 1/4 inch. So that's really nice too. So you have an adapter that you can take on and off. So that's pretty cool. I don't remember how the Yellow Jacket did. I don't remember them being favorable to vacuum, but I do not recall. I know I had that Yellow Jacket tree, which we did away with the tree because it's useless, because you can put the hoses right on the pump. And even now, I have a Yellow Jacket pump that has 3/8 and 1/2 inch connectors on it with the 1/4 inch connector, and I have two 3/8 hoses. So either I need to get an adapter, which is, I can do that, or just get another hose. I actually thought about getting another hose today because I was over at Johnstone. I was going to ride down to United and see if they had like a 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch hose, but I was like, nah, the heck with it. And it's a good thing I did say that because I've been jammed up all day trying to finish stuff, and it's been nuts, man. Nuts. I want to say this. I know that I've mentioned this a couple times. I want to mention it again. I will be streaming on Saturday night. There's no stream tomorrow night. I think typically I'll do Monday through Thursday. That's where you're going to see me. No stream tomorrow night. On Saturday night, I am doing a stream. I'm trying to raise money for my son because he's going to Citadel, and he's trying to get into the Success Camp. It's like CSI is what it's called. So we're raising money for that. That'll be at 8 p.m. on Saturday night. We do have another caller. Let me take it real quick. You're on the air.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, is this the HVAC Shop Talk guy?
You've got the HVAC Shop Talk guy. That's me.
Dude, oh my God. I'm actually washing right now. I'm like reading my, that's crazy.
This is
I
tricky.
never, wow. I never called radio shows or nothing. This is like my first call ever for
Hey,
something like this.
If you're going to call somebody, this is the place to start because it's the lowest pressure radio station you can possibly call. There's only a dozen people watching, so you're good.
Yeah, well, it's YouTube. Like everyone watches what they're looking for or whatnot.
Well, what's your name?
Yeah. Oh, my name's Alex. I'm from Southern Maryland, and I'm in the process of reading my modern refrigeration book to take my journeyman test.
Oh, man, you're already ahead. You read. That's good.
Well, yeah, I mean, shockingly enough, I had an old boss that believed in me. I was working at relatively not the greatest company, and he's like, man, you're too good for this place. And he paid for a year of schooling. I studied my ass off, 6 months course. I got a 96 on the final, so this is what I
Nice.
want to do with my life. I mean, I like the trade.
How old
And
are
a
you?
lot of them, huh?
How old are you? How old are you?
Oh, I am 32 years old.
32 years old. Still a young guy. Still young guy. Just got 96, which is sweet, by the way. Test taking, I'm not the best at. So, what is your vision for your career? What do you see happening? What do you want to happen?
Well, right now I'm in a really good company. I'm surrounded by very fantastic people, really go-getters. Now I don't want to give out too information, but just to say that we work in a place where they don't expect a whole lot from you, but everyone like in the street, you gotta be a go-getter. If you plan on being in the trade for the rest of your life, you have to move. You have to keep working and expanding and learning. It's really, I've seen people that you just know who's gonna make it, who's not. Some people could float on the radar, but that only goes for so long. Luckily for me, though, I'm like legitimately surrounded by like these very top tier, well-rounded mechanics. So I'm just been very fortunate because right now I do commercial HVAC, and I've been in the trade for 6 years now, and I've done residential. So that was some legwork there.
Oh, yeah. I know that very well.
But so the reason why I called you is because I'm reading this book and everything, and this ain't like I'm in school. I'm reading this $1,500 page book. I'm reading the mechanical code book, and basically, I think a great success of mine when I was in school was, reading that book every night and taking practice tests. But for some reason, I just can't find like a good program or something like to take these practice tests. So when I do take the journeyman test, I just pass with flying colors with no hiccup. You know what I mean? I just didn't know if you knew something like that.
Okay, so journeyman in Maryland may be something different than journeyman in North Carolina. Once upon a time, it was 1990, I don't know, 7 or 8 or something like that, and I was going to get my journeyman. There's like a J1 and J2, as I recall. I don't know what it is now. But we went through a course. We actually went out to the local community college and took a course to get well-versed to be able to take that test. And that's what I did back then. That was before there was any internet resources. Of course, now you can go to YouTube and look at stuff. But for something specific, like you want to have a journeyman criteria, Is there not something you can do similar to that where you can go in and take evening courses? That's what it was for me. I mean, we'd work in the field and then go
so
take
I
an evening
did see
course.
that. Yeah, I could definitely do the process of that. I just, I just finally kind of like set roots at my current company right now, and they, the owner was like, "Hey, man, I'll take you to school. That's not a big deal." But I think I was just, it's a lot. There's a lot to the job. I'm just gonna say, it's a government job, so there's like a lot of inner workings, a lot of elements.
I
You
got
you
you.
can't just be as easy as flip a switch. You know what I mean?
I got you. You don't think a night course is going to work out for what you're doing as far as
Um, I know any help is good help. You know what I mean? And that's definitely plausible. But I'm kind of looking taking this test within the next month or so.
now. The interesting thing is because I don't know what the criteria is for a journeyman in your state. I don't know what they give you. Will they give you something like a guide or a book specifically written for journeyman studying?
I've been tempted. Actually, I got to renew my apprenticeship license. It's due here pretty soon. But yeah, no, I've actually contemplated calling them. But I figured, I'm reading this book, reading it. I'm on the boiler section now. Like, okay, yeah, nothing shorter than a quarter. Yeah, I get electrodes or whatever. And I guess you kind of say I'm looking to find something that challenged me, so I know I'm good, type of deal.
Well,
So,
okay. Something I'm thinking about now. Whenever I think about being a journeyman or anything like that, like a license holder, when you're going to take an exam or something, I'm thinking about all the different aspects of the test, not just technical items, but also things
right.
they're going to ask you about the code, which will be different from place to place. Although there's a basic code that covers everybody, there's differences from place to place. So as far as technical stuff, I mean, there's all sorts of things you can do. Of course, there's podcasts out there. You're talking to one of them right now, and then there's. I used to use the online Nate exam for when I did like skilled trade up stuff, where we'd come in and bring guys on the show and give away tools and ask them those questions. I mean, that's a pretty good resource, and then you can look up whatever you want to study. Like you want to study boiler stuff, you want to study just hydronics in general, you want to do heat pumps, you can study all sorts of things specifically. So that was very helpful. And of course, there's also just Nate,
If you have my,
books.
sorry, didn't mean, I'm on my way. You got a paper, and pen. Go ahead, continue.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's something that, and geez, I wish I could remember. It's been so long, it's not going to pop up when I type it into the Google screen. But anything like that. I mean, we have shows, skilled trade up shows that go back a couple years where I ask questions of guys that might be on this sort of test. I think Brian Orr's done a few podcasts for HVAC school where he's done something like that, where he's asked questions and gone over some of the criteria. See, the thing is, I don't know if it's going to be specific for what you need where you're at, but I think in general it'll make you better just going through the questions and the different criteria, just like watching people do service calls on YouTube. The only thing is you're not guaranteed they're doing everything correctly.
Right.
Which is just the danger of it, which doesn't take away from the fact it's just kind of fun to watch them. And a lot of the guys are really, really smart, but there may be certain things that aren't quite right. And there's no one there to say, oh, this is wrong. Don't listen to this part, but listen to this other part. And I'm guilty of that too. So, I mean, you can use all those things. And that's a free resource, which is nice. And the online Nate exam's free. So you want to buy anything.
Yeah. So what was that website called?
Yeah, that's a great question. I cannot remember, but I'm sitting at a computer, so let me see if I can figure it out because we use it all the time.
I look up Google, and that's weird. I'm like watching you talk. This is unbelievable.
It's trippy stuff, man.
Yeah, definitely. The damn pausing gas, but no, but it's just because I just look on it, and so like a little background, I'm also like a firefighter as well. And so when I was going through the school, like they're like, oh no, download this app. Like everyone knew. The problem is though, like HVAC is such a not necessarily like a small community, but there's just not a whole lot. It's either you have it or you don't. You go through it, you get it or you don't. And I'm not. You can't take second guesses. You gotta know your job. You know what I mean? Just like when you're on the field, like you have to know, or there's a lot of money on the line.
Absolutely. No, you're right about that. I cannot find this thing though. I don't know where it is. I don't know if it's still up because it's been a while since we used it. I'll tell you what. I'll write that down though in case I do find it. I'll say it on the show because we're gonna do the skill trade up this weekend. So We need some questions for that.
Uh-huh.
Now, have you
Skill
ever,
trade up. Is that like a YouTube thing or a website?
No, it's I used to do. I haven't done it in a while. But what it is when I'm doing the live stream, it'll either be the entire live stream long or part of it, where I will have guys come on the show with me, like you'll be on the screen with me, and I ask a series of questions, and for every question you would answer correctly, I like give away a tool or something like that. Let's say, and it gets higher and higher. Like the first question, you get it right. Let's say you win like a set of wrenches or something like that. But then you have to risk that prize to go to the next level to get the next best prize, and it goes all the way up. But we used to give away like vacuum pumps and leak detectors and all sorts of crazy stuff. But I mean, it was some crash and burn too, man. People get to the last question, they'd risk everything and lose. It was a lot of fun, but they were all questions like the NATE exam would have, I like to think, and some of them come directly from that sort of practice test. But I'm gonna do it again this weekend. Saturday night, I'm gonna do one of those. I think about 9 p.m. because we're gonna have a couple interviews before that. We're gonna have Bill Spone from True Tech, then I'm gonna have David Richardson, who I've interviewed about 300 times or so, and then we're gonna do the skill trade up. So there'll be some of that on Saturday night.
Okay, so basically, watch the show Saturday night is what you're telling me.
That's what I'm trying to get everybody to hear here in the chat. Be like, just watch the show. Keep on watching it every day, every single time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. You know, I think the crazy part is I really didn't take my job seriously until I worked with another gentleman. Mind you, this was out of college. That was my last company I was working at, and we were doing like a 4A change out within the dorms. I mean, you're talking about that. The air handlers are in the attic, tie-ins. Thank God now line set. You know, I mean, because there were brick buildings, and these buildings were easy 50, 60 years old. And I'll just never forget that time. I mean, I'm working, you know, I'm busting my ass, you know. I'm kind of I like to talk trash like throughout the day. It makes the day go by. Have a little fun. And he looks at me and he's like, Alex, what the hell do you think we do here? I said to him, we make air cold, dude. He's like, no. I was like, yes, that air is cold. And then he went through the whole process. Well, there's no such thing as cold. And I mean, it's like I was having a sterile crisis. I was
the
in the shower
removal of
crying.
heat. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I couldn't believe it. So that I don't know what about that spoke to me, but I guess it's when I realized that there was more to it than just putting Lego pieces together. That's when I started respecting him more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I was the same way. When I was coming up, I could care less. But then all of a sudden I started kind of studying it, and I realized that the science of it is kind of fun. And it's kind of neat to understand it's not just heat. It's like, it's energy. It's particles ramming into each other and transferring through refrigerant and being manipulated to changing the phase of refrigerant. It's really cool. I mean, it's just neat stuff. You know, when you try to study it a little bit before, it's like, I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't care. And then just one day I started watching YouTube. It's like, wow, this is cool.
The crazy part is, like, you know, you work for so long, and you you just work for so long, and so many people I think the craziest part is, like, no one wants to have the patience to teach people anymore. That's like the biggest ordeal. Like, what was it? What was my last mechanic I got into it with? He told me he was using a field piece micron gauge, you know, the one with the clamps and all, the fancy one. And he had the subcool clamp on the suction line and the superheat clamp on the discharge line. Mind you, my my is residential, so I know a thing or two about subcooling because, you know, I deal with 410. That's the era I came in. And yes, dude, I was like, dude, this is wrong. He's like, no, it's not. He's like, I said, yes, it is. He's like, no, it's not. I was like, no, subcooling is, you know, we're trying to remove the heat from the liquid refrigerant, so on and so forth. And then one of the other mechanics, and also he's incompetent too, was like, look here, Alex, look here, you listen to your HVAC daddy. And I said, well, yeah. I said, you know, fuck this, dude. I mean, I don't know if I could cuss. But I said, yeah, get whatever.
Hey, man, it doesn't matter. Yeah. You already did
it. right. Too late now. The home already heard it. Calling my boss right now. But, yeah, you know, not to make a long story short, yeah, I've been educating myself on your channel. I'm surrounded by good mechanics that want to teach. They're actually ecstatic that I want to learn. But, yeah, I'm not going to hold you up anymore, boss. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching more. I mean, of course, I've been watching this every day ever since you had, but, you know, maybe more paying attention. And just appreciate your help and thank you for accepting my call.
Hey, Alex, it's my pleasure, man. I appreciate it. You can call in again anytime you want, okay?
I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
All right, dude. Take care.
Bye. Yep. Bye.
That was buddy Alex there. New caller. I don't know what it is, guys. Maybe all my prayers are getting straight up to heaven because getting some new callers in here. Yes, Canon still calls. No, not everything is great. I'm just kidding. That was actually a pretty good call, Canon. I'm going to tell you straight up. That was a pretty good call. So, 6-shooter hit the dump button. Come on, man. That was a good call. Some people, they're just hecklers, man. And I like it. I like 6-shooter. He was gone for like 2 years. Now he's back. I like it. Psychometrics is good. That's what Christopher's talking about. Superheat is level of liquid in condenser. When he said he put it on the discharge line, I was like, well, maybe he was trying to measure discharge superheat. But, not a whole lot of people are measuring discharge superheat. You know what? That doesn't really come into play a whole lot. You got a bad, a compressor that's running real hot. Discharge superheat's pretty high a lot of the time. Pretty high. Oh, hit the dump button on the curse word. I didn't follow. 6-shooter, I'm not smart. Okay, so you're going to have to spell things out when you put them in the chat. It's like, Zach, I'm not talking about the caller. Gotcha. I'd be like, gotcha. Okay. Cannon said, did you read my Facebook message I sent you, Zach? Cannon, why don't you just text me on my phone? You called it. Text me on my phone. If you're sending me Facebook messages, yes, I probably will read it eventually. But texting on my phone, that's the way to go right there. You guys got the number. It's on the screen. You can text me, all right, anytime. I mean, a couple guys text me today with questions for Bill Spone for Saturday night, so keep it online. That was Nathaniel from last night and Jay from last night. So they were true to their word, and they text me, and I have questions for Bill. If you have questions for Bill or David Richardson, and David, that's combustion, ductwork, static pressure, all the stuff we've talked about, you know what they talk about. You can ask them just about anything, and they'll know the answer to it. Text me the question you got. You can email the question you got, but text is probably the best. Text, because my phone's always on my side. I get the emails, I get the text, but, I get like 500 emails a day, and it's not because I'm important. It's because that I signed up for a bunch of crap over the years and didn't end the subscription to any of it. I'm getting, AOL chat room stuff. Rejoin your AOL chat room. I'm just kidding. I didn't make that up. I try to think of something old. AOL chat room seems pretty old. All right. Let's close this bad boy out. I don't think there's anything else to really talk about here tonight. I think we covered the awful gauges. I'll try to find that NATE exam online. I don't remember where it is, but it was very useful. Very useful. And there's a text right there. See, I can see the text on the thing. It says a lot of code questions. There you go. Code questions, man. B-vent, 1-inch clearance, single wall, 6-inch clearance. That's the stuff you get into. What has 0 clearance? What needs 1-inch clearance? How big does the opening have to be when you put the unit up into the attic? It has to be pretty big. Or you have to have some sort of agreement with the inspector. We can't do it, but the unit fits. Or you have to get one of them train units you can break apart. There's always ways around, because not every time you can reach what the code is. Because I can't remember what it is as far as that hole you have to have up in that is like 24 by 36. It's like huge. Like half the houses don't have that, or 20 by 30 or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, but it's 10 o'clock. Let me get out of here. It's getting late. Go put Jackson to bed. Hopefully he's still up. Sometimes he goes to bed before I get in there. I like to be the one to put him into bed because he looks at me and says, "Good night, Dad." I say, "Good night, Jackson." Then I'll take him to school in the morning. And there's a special moments, even though, I work in the evening. You guys know what this is like. You work a lot. So getting those particular moments with your children when you can't spend hours and hours with them, but they can always count on you for certain things, that's a good thing. So I'm going to see if I can't get that good thing tonight. I won't be here tomorrow, like I was saying, but I'll be back on Saturday night. I'll try to make the event for Saturday night tomorrow. And my intention, I'm going to scrape together prizes. We're going to have us some skilled trade up. I've already had some big plans here about how I got to get the stuff ready for it, because there's a lot more involved electronically to do skilled trade up, because I have to have the other computer in here, and I have to find another computer. I have to dig it out of a hole in my shop. We'll see what happens. All right, so that's pretty much it. This will be a podcast tomorrow. You can subscribe to YouTube. Go ahead and hit that button if you haven't already. Like the video. You can support me at Subscribestar, which is always helpful. All those links are in the description. Join the Discord. It's in the description. Just go to the description. Click on all the crap. Then you'll have everything. I'm out of here, guys. I'll see you on the next one.